Room 13 presents a tale cloaked in shadow and stitched with whispers, crafted for those who seek thrills tinged with the unknown. Our tale unfolds on a misty autumn evening where a brooding sense of apprehension lingers on the cool air. Eva Watson had never been one to believe in the supernatural. As a journalist, her world was built on facts, evidence, and truth that could be proved. But skepticism can only stretch so thin when faced with the inexplicable. Her recent assignment had brought her to the town of Alderwood, wrapped in secrets older than any living resident could recount. The town itself, quaint and seemingly ordinary, harbored a place spoken of only in hushed tones, the Hawthorne Asylum. Abandoned for nearly 50 years, the asylum sat atop a hill like a forgotten sentinel overlooking Alderwood. Rumors had long circulated about its halls, of ghostly echoes and shadows that danced to their melody. Urban explorers occasionally breached its crumbling defenses, only to emerge with haunted eyes and tales of fleeting shadows and inexplicable sounds. Eva had come to Alderwood to debunk these myths. Her editor, keen on increasing the magazine's circulation, believed a piece dismissing the ghost stories and focusing on the history of mental health care would captivate a modern audience. And so, armed with a flashlight, voice recorder, and the conviction of a skeptic, Eva ventured into the raining dusk towards Hawthorne Asylum. The drive was short, but filled with the weight of expectation. Each bend in the road curled her deeper into the forest's embrace, and the trees seemed to close ranks behind her, whispering secrets only they knew. The iron gates of the asylum appeared as a monstrous mouth, gaping open to swallow her whole. "Just an old building with a sordid history," Eva muttered, clutching her recorder tightly to steady her nerves before stepping into the asylum's silent belly. The air inside was stagnant, redolent with decay and time's relentless grasp. The building's grand reception area, a shadow of its former self, lay cloaked in layers of dust. Moonlight sneaked through broken windows, casting ghostly beams that illuminated the path forward. As Eva progressed, her flashlight flickered sporadically, as if the darkness itself resisted her intrusion. Hoping to find some tangible ties to reality, Eva flipped through patient records strewn in the nurse's station. Most files were indecipherable, marred by water and time. Among them, however, one remained eerily intact, belonging to a patient named Thomas Greeley, a man committed for reasons only written as involuntary. Though Eva dismissed its strange preservation at first, her journalistic curiosity urged her deeper into the building's bowels. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the air itself tried to hold her back. Her footsteps tapped a hollow rhythm, a solemn beat to accompany the uncertainty swirling in her mind. Eva's search led her to the asylum's east wing, where the cells of the once detained remained grim reminders of a bygone era. Her flashlight's beam brushed against peeling wallpaper, revealing remnants of scratched markings, an indecipherable language of desperation. Were these the cries or mantras of those who had wandered these halls long before? Then came a sound, so faint it was almost imaginary, a shuffle perhaps. Eva quelled the instinctual panic rising within, attributing it to the building settling or the wind drafting through unseen cracks. But as she moved, it followed, a whisper of feet mirroring her own. To her left, a door stood ajar, leading down to the basement. With trepidation tingling her spine, Eva descended into the darkness below, the air thickening with each step. Down there, the whispers rose, isolated words curling around her like tendrils of fog, too muddled to understand, but enough to unsettle her deeply. The basement spanned beneath the forgotten asylum, shrouded in an oppressive darkness. Her flashlight flick, carried with increasing frequency, akin to a failing heartbeat. Rounding a corner, Eva's unsteady beam caught a figure, just out of the light's reach, a shadow against the wall, unmoving yet too distinct to be a trick of the light. "Is someone there?" Her voice echoed eerily in the confined space, swallowed by the void. Her only response was the unsettling silence, filled with her amplified breath and the hurried thrum of her pulse. She was no longer sure if the shadows gave form to her fears, or if reality itself had taken a distorted shape. Her courage wavered as the figure, impossibly human yet grotesquely wrong, seemed to dissipate into the ether of darkness, leaving behind an unspeakable chill. Driven by the instinct to escape, Eva's steps quickened, the maze of the asylum twisting back on itself until she stumbled upon a treatment room. Equipment lay strewn from some forgotten experiment, chains rusted with age, vials clouded with dust and neglect. Yet the room thrummed with a malevolent energy, heavy and as palpable as any physical weight. Emotionally frayed, Eva knew she needed to leave, to break free from this nightmare spun of shadows and silence. Her path led back to the surface, a desperate climb where daylight should break the shadowy grip holding her soul. Yet, as Eva reached the main floor, a chilling revelation stopped her in her tracks. The asylum was quiet, almost too quiet, veiling a truth she had overlooked. She wasn't alone. Her presence had awoken memories etched into the very bones of the building. The asylum remained forgotten for a reason, a story of souls trapped in limbo, their whispers lingering on the cusp of sound and silence. The files of Thomas Greeley, the desperate scratches, the hallway shadows, they coalesced into an awful reality Eva hadn't anticipated. This was no place for the living. It was a chapel for those lost to time's embrace. Realizing she herself would be consumed by this enigma if she lingered, Eva moved urgently. The suffocating grip of the asylum released her only at its threshold, where icy night air greeted her with profound relief. The iron gates loomed behind her, like a silent sentinel guarding its solemn secret. Resolved, Eva retreated to the known world, her logical mind grappling to make sense of what she had experienced. Yet understanding some truths are not meant to be unraveled. Her story would indeed be one for the magazine, though perhaps with a different conclusion. The town of Alderwood, with its unassuming streets and silent secrets, returned to its quietude, serving as mere prelude to what lay atop its hill. Though myths would wane and stories would soften with time's passage, what transpired in Room 13 did not fade, leaving a scar etched into Eva's memory. A reminder of the shadows we dare to confront and the mysteries best left to their own devices. The Hawthorne Asylum still stood, a monument to whispers and shadows, a place that existed outside the realm of understanding, locked in an eternal dark that beckoned only the bravest or most foolish to enter. Its mystery remained unbroken, an eerie enigma nestled within deeper layers than any one soul could ever unravel.